Good evening. Good evening. We are live. It's Sunday. It can only mean one thing. It's the Gaming Podcast Live. Welcome everyone. Gaming Podcast Live. We're here every 2 weeks, talking about all the gaming stuff. With the official podcast of Game Magazine, and always I'm joined by my fantastic co-host that just stops me waffling on and on like a lunatic. It's the wonderful Mia.
I was just seeing how long then I could wait before it got too awkward for me to actually say anything. Hi, how you doing? I wanted to see if you'd waffle more. Like I've never staying quiet for that long at the start of the podcast. Usually I interrupt you.
Yeah, true. Considering your headphones were playing around earlier, I just thought, oh god, they've lost signal again.
Oh, wouldn't that have been great if I just stayed quiet the whole entire podcast and just let you carry this by yourself? How you doing, Robin? You doing good?
I'm good.
On this Sunday evening, this wonderful Sunday evening.
It's Sunday evening. Yeah, nice weekend. Quite quiet. Had my second vaccine. I am now double vaxxed.
Nice. Join the double vax club.
Yeah, 2 in the arm.
Two in the arm. Same arm?
Yes. Yeah, same arm.
How did you find it?
Well, I just got on the train and went to the hospital.
I knew that was coming. And yeah, I didn't. Yeah, no. I mean, okay, so
okay,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one actually didn't touch the size. I didn't have any problems with it. The second one, look, I don't really get affected too much by these things, and I just kind of had like a feeling of sort of general malaise, what the Victorians might call an imbalance in the humours or something. It wasn't really anything to worry about. Like, I had a lazy day on the sofa. I surrounded myself with chocolate. I watched James Bond films. That was my day.
That seems nice.
I could probably have pulled through it. Like if it's something super urgent, I probably could have done it. But
no fevers or anything like that. You didn't get any cold.
No, nothing.
Had a better time than I did. Then let's just leave it at that. Yeah. No, I won't go into the minutiae of what I experienced. Actually, wasn't as bad as the first time when I had my my second one. I think we spoke about this last time. Actually,
I think we did. This is the gaming / COVID vaccination podcast.
My vaccination also comes with local amnesia for podcast related things. That's what happens. But of course, it's not just us today. No, is it? No. First things first, though. Before I forget, this is a live podcast. Because I almost forgot to say this is a live It's Sunday. It's Sunday afternoon. It's been a long week. Come on. Just as a quick reminder for those of you joining us live, you can interact both here in the Twitch chat if you are watching live, or you can head on over to our wonderful Gaming Magazine Discord and, join in the conversation there. But as I jumped the gun earlier, I will now continue to say the sentence that I was saying then, which I will continue to say now. Because usually there's a third person. There is also a third person this week. We have a super special guest in the form of the amazing Jeff Brutlag.
Oh, hi. Hello.
I always confuse myself. Is it Brutlag? How do you say that?
It's German, so if you just think of attacking it strongly, it's Brutlag.
Brutlag.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I went slightly Russian then when I said it. Brutlag.
That's fine. You know what? Same side of the world, kind of. So
yes. General area. Yeah. Same general.
Mildly European.
Same hemisphere. Let's go for that. How are you doing today, Jeff?
I'm doing great. It's been a good Sunday so far. Yeah. Hope you both have been well.
We're good.
Mostly,
time-wise, we're kind of through it now.
I am saying that after I got my second vaccination, a couple of days later, I ended up going to the hospital because I got uveitis in my right eye. So that's been a fun time to deal with. That's been a lot of my last 2 weeks. So that's been fun. Which is
a lot of the Gabrielle kind of look.
Yeah. If you see, those who are watching live and can actually see the video form of the podcast, one of my pupils is more dilated than the other one. I am not on anything. It is medication. I swear. It's definitely medication.
That could be a fun party trick. Just kind of like, yeah, if you look real closely, one of my eyes more dilated.
Well, actually, David Bowie had the exact same thing. I think people said he had heterochromia, but according to other people that I've heard from, he didn't actually have heterochromia. He just had one pupil consistently dilated because a friend of his punched him in the side of the head when he was much younger. So yeah, there's a little tidbit of information for you today about queer icons. So yeah,
love to see it.
Icons. Moving on.
Oh my god.
I hate this so much.
We're into
was
shit
really
puns
good.
already. We're 10 minutes
Really
in. We're
good.
into shit puns already. Let's crack on. So we always start our podcast with our weekly recaps, the things we've been up to the last couple of weeks. I, Mia, have been playing a gacha game.
Hold on. Wait. You've been playing a gacha game?
Yeah, not.
Did they invent a Lego gacha game and they just didn't tell me about it? What's going on here?
Close. Star Trek.
Is that a board? Oh, okay.
There we go.
Not Borderlands then. Gotcha.
No, I've been playing Star Trek Legends on my iPad.
Okay.
It's all right.
How is Star Trek Legends?
Legends.
Is that what it's called?
Trek.
Is it?
I believe so. Or Legends, Legendary, one or the other. I don't really pay attention. It's a bit of fun and just sort of prattling around. But yeah, I thought that'd amuse you. I'm doing my level best to sort of like chain my wallet to the desk so I don't actually start sort of getting into any kind of.
I was going to say, what is the gacha in that game? Is it ships? Is it crew people?
It's crew. So it's about assembling crew. So there's loads of sort of like, you can have all the sort of random characters, but you can have like the iconic kind of like Kirk and Picard and whatever else. And
they missed a trick there. If it had been ships, that would have been so much cooler. They would have made so much money. Who wants to spend money on, I don't know, some guy in engineering? You get like, I don't know, like a Klingon bird of prey or whatever. No, you get like Ensign Wesley Crusher. Oh, I hope I get a 5-star.
There's nothing wrong with Wesley Crusher. He's an unloved character who is.
That's not what Picard says. Rough. I'm just.
Oh, question in the chat.
But the only thing I know about like Star Trek, like I just know that if I were to play this and just like anytime I would get someone with the red shirt, I'd be like, well, okay, that really stinks, I guess.
Out the airlock.
We're gonna die.
It's over.
Sorry.
Might as well just throw them out now.
Exactly.
QTR has actually asked a question in the chat. What kind of Star Trek Next Gen? It's Legends, so it's across the whole epoch.
It's everything.
Yes.
Is it TV or does it include like the movie franchise as well?
TV. So it's owned by the one's owned by CBS. So
cool.
Currently in my gang is Michael Burnham from Discovery, Worf and Riker and Dr. McCoy from the original series.
So the Legends are literally just like the important crew members.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then you get a load of red shirts that you just kill off basically.
Oh, there are red shirts. Oh God! Yeah. All right. Is it like basically? Is it like a Fallout Shelter kind of game? Is it?
It's story based. It's playing around. It's playing through the planet, and you sort of have combat moments, turn based combat, and collectibles and whatever else.
So it's Raid Shadow Star Trek Legends.
Yes,
got it.
Basically,
okay,
it really is just insert popular mechanism here sort of thing. Like you could have pressed anything over the top of it and it's exactly the same sort of thing. Anyway, that isn't the highlight of my week, because my real highlight of my week is an amazing indie game that I've been playing on Xbox Game Pass called Rain on Your Parade.
Rain on Your Parade?
Yeah, hold on, there's a trailer. Hold on, bear with.
There's a trailer? Okay, cool.
Oh, this game is delightful.
Oh, I've seen this. Oh, the one
without music, so we have to now. And luckily, the screen is telling us there's music.
This is a podcast. We should probably keep
imagine this video. Yeah, let's for the audio listeners describe. So, trailer.
What is this game about?
Okay, inherently, it's literally my most favorite game because it's about fucking shit up, and you play as a cloud. It has a kind of feel like people that were watching last week. I was playing Yoshi's Crafted World, and it has a very similar feel to this. So it's done on a budget in a way that has kind of like a dangly cardboard cloud. And it's literally Goose Game, but if you are a cloud. And so you literally, you fly around ruining people's picnics and oh god, I've just lost
Jeff.
Lost Jeff. There's Jeff. Ruining people's picnics and doing loads of sort of fun things, and then very slowly as the game progresses, you get more. It starts off very kind of like just on A, just for rain, and move the cloud around, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And it's really simple, but then it starts to get clever in a sense. Like you can, as a cloud, you can absorb different sort of pools. So a pool might be oil, and you can go and dribble over a candle and set fire to things, or you can go and absorb a load of nuclear waste and go and sort of like melt things or whatever else.
Horrifying.
And it actually starts to get
acid rain and stuff.
It actually starts to get quite clever, and then you can. Later in the game, you learn different things about sort of snow and tornadoes and thunder, and you have to kind of start combining all of these things together to sort of puzzle solve. It's just the best. It's the most simple mechanics, done with a fantastic sense of humor. Just really brilliant. It's exactly on the nose of where my gameplay is. Like just being a dick. I just want to be an arsehole in a game. That's
a cutesy puzzle game where you get to be a dick.
Yeah.
Kind of like along the lines of like Untitled Goose Game, I guess.
Literally. So. And that's, And I really, really hope that, that they don't, I think it's been out for maybe 6 months or a few months at least. But I really, really hope it gets like a little late bloom and maybe a bit of help from the streaming community and starts to sort of rival Goose. I really think it could. Like it's a really, really quality, the similar kind of animation style, very crafted kind of feel. And that's just
on Game Pass.
Apparently. That is on Xbox Game Pass. It's on Steam. It's free on Xbox Game Pass, obviously, but it's also on Steam. It's also on Switch. So you've got no excuse. You can go and play it wherever you wish.
Nice. Yeah, awesome. What else have you been up to?
I've binged Jupiter's Legacy. Yes, the new superhero comic thing on Netflix, which was really, really, really good. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but it's like a family-esque sort of group of superheroes that are coming up, and they've lived for like 80 odd years, and they've been fighting all this evil for 80 odd years, but they've always lived by this code of like they must never kill. But the super baddies, the super villains, are getting worse and worse and killing people left, right, and center, and they're losing heroes by the day. But the daddy one, who's in charge of everything's like, we must never kill, blah 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 blah, and it's all that sort of like real kind of debate over the role of superheroes really in the modern day.
Right. Okay. Interesting. So
I'm probably describing it really poorly.
No, of course not. No, that really sells me on that show. I definitely want to watch it.
It's also it has a DC feel to it because it is quite graphic. You think body parts are torn off and that sort of thing, and it's done. Oh, yeah, it's done really well. It's Mark Miller, so it's based on a whole massive series of comic books, and the whole world's sort of there. And apparently, this one season, Netflix have only really picked kind of like a tiny little segment of that comic, and just really quite cleverly focused on it. Very cleverly tells the origin story and a current day story kind of together at the same time.
Simultaneously.
Yeah. And a really clever way of differentiating the two times as well, because it uses widescreen for olden days, and then the bars come down to make it kind of like a movie kind of
old aspect ratio trickery.
Yeah, exactly.
I see.
Very clever.
But
if you're bored, good watch. 10 episodes.
Funny that you mentioned that the superhero stuff, because something that I did this week was I took Seti's advice from 2 weeks ago, and I watched Invincible. Now, I don't know anything about Jupiter's Legacy because I've only seen like a poster, and it looked like there's just some old superheroes. It looked like superheroes in a geriatric center. So I was like, but Invincible. That's very, very interesting. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but if you've seen Amazon Prime's The Boys series, it's the best way I can describe it is that it's like the Justice League 90s cartoon from like Cartoon Network or whatever meets The Boys, and it's like fully animated. The episodes are like an hour long, and it it goes to some places that I'm not quite comfortable talking about on a quote unquote family friendly podcast. Yeah. But oh my god, for anybody that's actually seen it, watch until the end of the first episode, and if you want to continue watching it, you'll know by the end of the first episode if it's something that you want to do.
It's animated, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is animated, which it's a little bit weird because like I haven't seen any like push for like marketing about this whatsoever. Like the boys got like a huge push, and considering that this seems to be in the same wheelhouse, you'd think that Amazon would be doing something. But again, I heard about it through word of mouth. I heard about it through YouTube videos as well, which kind of like spoiled some plot points for me actually. But it was well worth the watch. It's very adult orientated, and it's very weird. It's definitely not family friendly. And let me just say, for those of you who have seen it, there's this one scene with a subway train that haunts me now, and I don't want to ever recall it ever again. So I don't know how I feel after watching. I basically binged the entire first season after hearing about it. I just sat in bed and just watched the entire thing, and I think I was up till like 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm glad I did. It was fun. Definitely worth the watch. But sorry not to interrupt the rest of your week, but with superhero things, that's what I've been up to with that. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about? By the way,
no, I'm done.
Because I kind of just hijacked. Yeah,
you keep going.
I will continue to hijack. Okay, let's continue. New Pokemon Snap. I played that a week ago on Friday. It's cute. It's fun. Not really a game that I want to continue streaming because like it's very, very relaxing, and I kind of want to like keep that for me. You know, Nintendo sent me a code. Thank you again, Nintendo, for sending me a code for Pokemon Snap. I appreciate it. But I streamed it the once, and I was like, this is so relaxing. It's nice. It's nice to get out there and like see very, very cute professors sending me out into the wilderness to take pictures of cute Pokemon and throw apples and all kinds of things at them to get them to do stuff. And an old character, I don't want to spoil stuff, but an old character from like other media and like older games makes a return too. And they've changed a little bit, and it's really, really cool, but I don't want to spoil anything. So, but yeah, it's wholesome. It's fun. Go play Pokemon Snap. Did anybody else get a chance to play Snap yet?
I have been loving it. It's just like, I know I played the original. I don't like have a lot of memories of playing the original.
See, I never played the original, so this is all new to me.
So it's cool that they brought back, like, it really does feel, at least from what I remember seeing of the original, but they brought in so many new things and made it so modern to where I'm like, they did such a good job at making this appeal to like current Pokemon nerds and then like people who are like just jumping on the Pokemon train.
Apparently it hasn't like sold amazingly though, which is odd. Yeah, you would think like because it's Pokemon it would be, you know, a crazy seller or whatever, but apparently it's not done like crazy numbers. It's done okay. I can't really remember what it is exactly, but it's done all right. Other than that though, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say my timeline. I mean, I'm not a Pokemon person, so please don't ask me about Pokemon. But my timeline has been quite interesting in terms of like there's been a real sort of mix of like the people like Juicebox, who's like a humongous Pokemon fan. She was jumping up and down, literally sort of like checking her postbox every 5 minutes, waiting for it to arrive. But I know other people that are just like, I know some people that have played it and like, and whereas other people are sort of are quite excited about it. So I can. It's an interesting sort of, it's interesting how it's polarized. And I certainly haven't sort of, even though I'm not a Pokemon fan, obviously given the profession, I certainly haven't seen a massive marketing push for this.
Right. I will say like from what I've played, it's definitely one note. So like if you can handle that one note for like a long period of time, it's for you. But like for me, I definitely like play it. I'm like, oh my God, so cute. Oh my God, so cute. Oh my God, so cute. And then you're kind of like, okay, everything's cute. So then like at some point, like if that's your thing, like you're gonna love it for a long time. But I can see that not being for everyone.
I feel like that's also kind of like why I don't really want to stream it all that much. Like I want to play it in my own time because it's nice and relaxing and kind of slow. You get on the set thing and you're taking pictures, but I'll be like, okay, I'm bored. Let me do something else for a second. Like I'll
Right.
probably just keep stopping and stuff, which doesn't make it a very good stream game for me, unfortunately.
Right.
I noting the whole Twitter thing that you talked about, though, it's been odd seeing like last weekend, like not the weekend, but last weekend being so wholesome, and like all these Pokemon pictures and just talking about Pokemon in general, and then just like transferring through the week, and then you just got like hot tall lady on your timeline just chasing down Ethan Winters with Resident Evil Village. I did get a chance to play Resident Evil Village again. Shout out to Capcom for sending a code for that. Thank you very much. That's been fun. I played like the first hour and a half of the game. I literally got up to the castle, but I decided to stop, and I'm gonna wait a week for like the hype to die down a little bit, because I noticed a lot of people in my community were like, hey, we're so hyped for this, we want to play it ourselves, so we can't be here, we can't watch you play. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, if you want to avoid spoilers, you know what, I'm gonna do you a solid, I'm gonna wait a little bit, and then get your games out of the way, get your playthroughs out of the way, and you come back and you can watch me. So I've only done the intro, but it's very, very weird to me. I didn't play 7, but I watched a bunch of playthroughs on 7. I'm a massive Resident Evil fan, by the way, so I've played
Hence the hat.
Hence the hat. Yeah, I'm wearing the hat for the audio listeners. I'm wearing an umbrella hat. It's very cute, and it took me far too long to find it today because I lost it. But yeah, I'm glad I'm wearing it. But yeah, I was playing through the game, and it's very odd so far because the experience is extremely linear. It's given me massive Resident Evil 4 vibes, but the experience so far has been extremely linear. Twice now along the story, I have been picked up from my predetermined path, taken away to be introduced to a bunch of characters, and then had to run back to where I was on that path in order to continue the story. And that happened within the space of 15 minutes twice. And I thought, okay, I'm going to stop now and just process this for a little bit. And I only did the start of the game. I've been a little bit. There's a part right at the start with a again, I don't really want to lean into spoilers too much, but a bunch of enemies that doesn't really give you any real direction. So I ended up running around that particular part for about 15 minutes, not knowing that I had to be downed in a certain position in the map in order for the story to progress. And it's just the little things like that are like bugging me about it. It's a good game. It's highly polished, and like the combat, if you played 7, it's all there, and the enemies are a little bit more interesting than the mold monsters that you fought in 7 so far anyway. But yeah, it's that and some other odd stuff, like you go to a European village and everybody is speaking with an American accent for some reason.
Oh, didn't even think about that, but you're right.
Yeah. It just took me out of it slightly. I'm like, I just want my Resident Evil 4 again.
There might have been a coach of American tourists
who have apparently set up shop and have been living there for the last couple of decades.
There might have been a coach of lost American tourists.
Mm-hmm.
They just gave up on the will to go home and thought, oh, fuck it, we'll create
I
a village.
highly rate like Resident Evil 4 is like one of the highest games of all time. It's one of the OGs, and I love that game to death. So I was just playing through it thinking, oh, this feels so much like Resident Evil 4. And then there's just these little things that are just off about it here and there. And it's like, I hope there's a really cool merchant character. There is, but not the merchant character that I was hoping for. I wanted my not enough cash stranger guy, but it was the Duke instead, who also speaks with a wonderful American accent, which is amazing. I know that you've been playing it, Jeff. How have you been finding it so far?
Without giving too much away, like I never thought I would need a Resident Evil game with like popular mythical creatures, but like here we are, and I'm loving it.
Yes, I like the idea that they're like putting all this like mythological stuff into the story as well, and it kind of makes sense. I guess I imagine it's going to make sense in the story. So
right, like there's just always, I feel like Resident Evil, the thing it always has done well is like always like pull you in with like something like creepy and intriguing, and then at some point it just gets like goofy and campy. So here I'm like, it's already kind of goofy and campy while also being spooky. So like whatever like happens to the rest of this game, I'm ready. Maybe. Who knows? I might not actually be ready.
I will say the spooks so far have been pretty good in that opening segment. Like, I mean, other than the whole opening which I thought was a little bit ludicrous and freaking hilarious, especially when you see what happens to one of the characters right at the start.
Oh yeah.
Amazing opening. But the build up after that and the spooks that you get along the way, as you lead up to this isolated village, was really, really cool and really immersive.
I so agree.
So I've been hella enjoying what I played of that, even though I didn't play very much. After that, I went back to Celeste. Fantastic game. I'm so glad that I continued it. Gets so much better. Again, and dealing with all these things about mental health and like facing yourself and your problems quite literally. Still not finished it. Almost there, but definitely worth playing. And the soundtrack is so goddamn good. Yeah.
I agree. I played it shortly after it came out once through like the main story, and like I've been seeing more people like play it and like kind of doing the extra content, and part of me is like, man, I should really go back into it because I kind of miss it now.
It is so much fun, but also infuriating at the same time in order to get those strawberries and doing the B-sides and stuff. My hands were just killing me at the end of my play session the other day. I'm like, is this really something that I want to subject myself to again? But I will continue it just to see how it ends. But that is a special kind of trauma that is giving me. Another kind of trauma that I've been getting is from Wonder Egg Priority, which I know that Gayming Magazine spoke a little bit about, which is a special kind of anime. I'm not sure if you've seen this, Jeff. You might like this because it is a magical girl anime, which plays like a fever dream of trauma. It's a lot. It deals with some adult themes in there. It's essentially about teenagers coming to terms with a lot of messed up shit that teenage girls tend to face at that age that doesn't necessarily get covered by a lot of anime, like abuse and suicide and all kinds of stuff. Apologies, Cat Vita. Yeah, so I watched the first 2 episodes. I haven't continued it yet, but it's beautifully animated. Like the character design is fantastic. But it is a lot to take. So definitely some content warnings there if you're going into it. It's not a cutesy anime. It's very confusing because it literally presents itself as if you're inside of a dream at the beginning. And doesn't really explain a lot. You kind of have to infer a lot of the information from literally just there's no exposition as far as I can tell. It's all just through character action and the dialogue of the characters. It's kind of like a dream sequence in the beginning until you kind of figure out what's going on. Well worth watching. It's really hard to describe, but definitely worth taking a look at if you're up to that and up to seeing how teenage girls deal with trauma and destroy it with magical giant pens.
Listen, hey, that sounds like my kind of thing. Like I want that for me.
So yeah, I've had a very weird week. How's your week been, Jeff?
It's been good. I mean, with Resident Evil coming out and just that's mainly what I was like super excited for this week. But I mean, on top of that, I've been like in just like my free time, I've also just been being spooky as well. You guys are talking about shows that like you've been catching up on, and I've been watching. I'm not sure. I was recommended to this actually by somebody who came by while I was streaming. There's a show called Sweet Home on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I've seen this. It's the is it the Korean?
It's Korean, yeah.
Korean show, yeah. I've seen it. Yeah, it's so good. It's really good. It's yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, it's I've been describing it as it's like Resident Evil if it was focused on like some people that were trapped in an apartment complex. And it's been so cool because like it's only like a 10 episode thing, so they've really been shoving in a lot of like character backstory and detail. So like it's one of those shows where like they shove a whole bunch of information into like every single episode. So like you look away for 1 second, you're gonna miss some big plot point. But it's just been so loaded with like really good character writing and like really spooky things and like very heavy content. Like I actually think that like Netflix did a really good job with like their content warnings on it, because like when I was looking at it, I was like, oh yeah, they warn you all about it right there. But it's, as far as horror goes, it's been like, I've just been watching it like this is almost everything I want out of a horror like show or movie or anything.
How far have you gotten through it?
Oh gosh, I think I'm like halfway through. Like, for those who don't know, it's kind of about like a virus. And at this point of the show that I'm in, they don't necessarily know how it's spreading. So it's has all those same tropes of like, oh no, we might catch it from that person, or like, oh no, they're turning, maybe we should figure out what to do with them. It's like all very that, and like, but also with like characters that have really like deep traumatic backstories that, you know, feel like factor into these big plot points that are just so well done.
I think what I quite like about it is it literally does feel like kind of a Resident Evil movie spanning across a series, essentially. Like some of the CG effects, like I see it, I look at it and I'm like, that looks very like Liquor-esque from the Resident Evil series.
Totally.
And I love the monster designs in it too. They're very, very cool. And the whole idea that the monster that you turn into is based on some of your like psychological issues is super, super cool, because you get to see what comes out of that, because I think it's based on their desires or something, what they want. So this bald guy ends up being this hair monster, and it's
at this point they do kind of base it on like, that's where I know about it so far, but like I'm super interested to see where it all goes, just because of like who I know character wise has started turning so far. So I'm like, this will be very interesting to see how it plays out.
It's a fantastic show, definitely well recommended though. Have you done anything else other than that this week, or has it just been just your horror, just your classic horror week?
Just getting spooky. I think it was last week that I got my second dose of the vaccine, so
nice.
Looking forward to like finally being able to like, I don't know, be free. I live, like I was just talking to Robin earlier, like I live in a pretty gay area of town, so like I've been very hesitant about just like popping over to go see a drag show. So the fact that like on Tuesday I'll be considered fully vaccinated, I'm probably going to celebrate just by like popping over and like getting to see live drag again.
Amazing.
That should be fun.
Yeah. I mean, we get we're still all sitting outdoors at the moment, but we get our indoor spaces open in 8 days' time.
Didn't they just like cancel Pride though? Like Brighton, was it Brighton Pride?
Yeah, Brighton Pride. So Brighton Pride cancelled because they're in July, and there doesn't. Although there's an indoor openings for indoor stuff is on May 17th. The next kind of big milestone in our calendars is June 21st, which is kind of meant to, at the moment is kind of predicted to be the end of social distancing and the end of any kind of real concerns from a government point of view.
Yeah, the UK has been handling this very, very differently to the US, which I'm both happy and sad about. So
we're the problem is, I think, I don't want to get sort of drowned in politics at this point, but I think the problem is the second the government throw their hands up and say, right, we're done, all restrictions are off, that's not a free reign for everything to happen. It just means that private organizations then take the blame for it. So I think the problem that Brighton had, I don't want to speak out of turn, is that they were struggling with insurance and that sort of costs as well. And I think that the worry was if I go to Brighton Pride and it's and the government have declared it safe, if I then end up with, I won't, I'm vaccinated, but if somebody then ends up with COVID and tries to sue Brighton Pride because they haven't put social distancing or whatever else in place,
I can see that being an issue.
Then the government, so that it just passes through to insurances, and then everyone starts to get basically London Pride, Birmingham Pride, they're all in September. And I think that feels like a slightly longer and more safer gap rather than early July, which was Brighton. And Brighton it's a big Pride in the UK. Like it pulls a lot of people. And I mean, like, I think Kylie played it a few years ago. Minogue, not Jenna. And or just
thank goodness.
just in case. Or any other Kylie. But no, definitely. But so yeah, I mean, it's pretty big. I mean, I think it was Gaga. It was meant to be Gaga last year. So
really?
Yeah. So they pull like hundreds of thousands of people. But they just decided that that's not going to happen. But no, I'm fully with you, Jeff. It's like I need to get back out into the world. I need to go and start seeing people and doing things and licking lampposts and whatever we have to do.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh my god. I cannot wait for the world to go back to normal so I can go to Japan and go to the Nintendo Land theme park. Have you seen the Nintendo Land theme park?
We don't necessarily have to go to Japan. You can go to Florida. It's coming to Florida and California as well. I think.
No, I think with the way that people act in Japan, I'll go to the Japan one. I feel like I'll be a lot safer, honestly, than in Florida.
True.
That's neither here nor there. Oh, speaking of theme parks, Star Wars Day.
Yes,
Star Wars Day. Sorry, let's get on to the topics.
Good link. Yes, we are waffling slightly. Yes, happy belated Star Wars Day, everyone. It was Star Wars Day, May the 4th. May the 4th be with everybody here this week. And I thought it'd be really fun for us to sit and just reminisce and talk shit about Star Wars in a good way or a bad way. And talking of bad ways, we posted a very dubious story, I have to admit, on Gayming, where somebody had ranked by actual numbers of ones sold the top 10 Star Wars games sold in the US. Now, obviously, I'm very happy to report that that Lego Star Wars is on there, coming in at 7th and 8th, and 4th with a complete saga. Yet to see any fucking update from the Skywalker saga, the one that we've been waiting for like 2 years for, but that's a different problem for a different day. And if anybody can tell me what Shadow of the Empire was, I would love to know, because I have no idea what that Star Wars game was.
Super old, I believe. I'm not sure if it's a PlayStation game or a PC game, but yeah, I know of it, but I can't for the life of me tell you what it is.
And also, sadly, very much missing off Star Wars Kinect as well. If anybody remembers that one, the one where you hold your sort of Xbox dildos and try to pretend this. I mean, whatever they call them, and try and pretend that you're with a.
Well, you didn't get anything with the Kinect, did you? You just had to use your arms like a weirdo.
Sorry.
And then saying, I'm going solo. I get to do the dance sequence.
No, you're right. That was of course the PlayStation's one with the glowing dildos, isn't it?
They had the move.
The Kinect's the one where you just like try and detect you as a person.
That's the whole selling point. Your body was the controller, and it didn't work.
And that worked well, didn't it?
They tried.
Yeah. So reflections, thoughts, anyone? Good Star Wars games, bad Star Wars games. It took me ages to realize that Battlefront, because I hate online gaming, I just thought Battlefront was online gaming until somebody told me that there's a solo story mode. So I then had a quick run through that the other day. It wasn't too bad. Force Unleashed was pretty good.
I kind of liked the Force Unleashed games were pretty good at the time. Jedi game, oh god, what was it called? The one that was kind of Dark Souls-esque, Jedi Fallen Order. That was okay. Yes. I didn't play much of it. I didn't complete it. I don't know. I with games like that, I tend to go to the hardest mode and then just give up like straight away. I don't know why. There was the Squadrons game I had some fun with though for the little bit of time that I played that.
Me and flying games, I just end up crashing all the time. There's too much going on for me to try and if I have to shoot somebody.
See, I like that though, but I didn't think my heart goes back to which one was it? Rogue Squadron 2 on the GameCube, and I'm like, I love that game so much when it came out. It was that and Melee in 2001 or something when the games came out, and I was just like, yeah, I'll play that all day, every day. But I don't know. I don't really play Star Wars games that much anymore. They don't really like grab me because they all kind of like feel like cash grabs, if I'm honest. Sorry, EA.
Are you trying to say that there's loot boxes in the Star Wars universe?
Oh, yeah. Oh no, definitely not. Not as if Battlefront 2 caused like crazy controversy with their loot box scandal, but no.
Oh. I think didn't someone do a study of how long you'd have to play the game for to get Darth Vader if you didn't buy him, and it was something like crazy. 53 years or something.
It's something crazy like that. Remember
what?
They're not loot boxes. They're surprise mechanics.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, they're Lucky Charms.
There's surprise
Yeah,
mechanics.
if you didn't pay good money for that, if you played it and tried to do all the collectibles, you had to play it for 53 years or something ridiculous. I think when that was revealed, I think EA put a patch out to make it all a little bit easier. But still, that's special. A huge shout out, of course, to Lego Star Wars. The only time I can legitimately talk about my Lego fascination. Lego Star Wars, of course, was the first major Lego game. Just a little nugget of that started the whole Lego game thing.
I feel like
you
it's
sort of
definitely...
flash back to it. You look at what Lego games are now, which like it's huge open sandbox world things with multiple hundreds and thousands of characters and stuff. But you go back and you play that first one, and it's just like 3 characters, and it takes about 5 minutes a level, and it's all side scrolling and whatever else. It's like so linear.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there you go.
Quite a bit, hasn't it?
Little bit of
I don't like Lego games. I'm sorry, Robin.
Yes, we've covered that, but this is my only legitimate chance to talk about them is because there are 3 Lego games.
All right. Okay. So, as you're the resident Lego game expert, which of the Lego Star Wars games is the best?
Well, considering sort of 3 of them are all much of a muchness, because they're all kind of like, there was Lego Star Wars, which was the first one that was based on the prequels, and then on the original series, and then they brought out the second one, which each time it just built on the previous one. Actually, I quite enjoyed the Force Awakens. The Force Awakens one, the first of the new trilogy. They did that as Lego, and they did it really big, and then they sort of just went, "Oh, we've stopped." And that was it. It was just like they didn't bother doing the last year. They didn't bother doing the next one, and it's because they were plotting this super game called the Skywalker Saga, which is meant to be another Lego game with but it's got a new engine, which we're all very excited about. I say all, me is all very excited about. But it's the whole 9 films, and so it's like, but it's been coming for like the last 2.5 years practically, because they were trying to aim to release it when the last film came out, and they missed that, and then the pandemic happened, then they missed that, and it's just become like a running joke. We've had like 3 Star Wars days, and I think the best they've released is a trailer. So,
well, hopefully it comes out at some point for you, and I know you really like that. Now, I'm not a massive fan of the Star Wars video games, but I am more of a fan of the TV series, and well, not so much the movies. Let's not talk about those last 3 movies that they released, because I have some opinions, but I won't get into that now because they're quite
did you catch the news? And he says as he quickly frantically Googles, did you catch the news of the fact they've actually finally named all the trilogies?
Oh, have they?
Yes,
they have names.
Oh,
so you remember?
Okay.
Do you remember the whole thing about like you always have to say like the original series and then the prequels, but then the newer prequels, but not those prequels, the other prequels, and then the newer
like
films.
The whole thing just the Skywalker Saga? Is that not?
They've just I'm just trying to quickly pull it up. Sorry, I should have been more prepared. No, they've now calling them eras, because of course this picks up on the fact that, and this is something you're probably going to talk about, is the High Republic was like the new world they're trying to explore, which was set before all of the prequels. My computer's
not sure if that takes place before or after the Old Republic. I'm really unsure about the actual timeline, because if it's not the movies and it's like an ancillary media, I really don't care. I know that there's like a lot of Star Wars fans, and we've literally had this conversation before. It's like, if you don't know who Darth Revan is, if you don't read all the comic books, if you don't like play all the games or read all the books, then you're not a true Star Wars fan. And it's like, ugh.
Got it. So the first bit, the old prequels in the 90s, is called Fall of the Jedi. That's the new name for those 3. Then you have the original films is now called Reign of the Empire, but that also includes Solo, and it includes the Bad Batch,
and Rebels, I imagine,
and Rebels. Yes. Rebels, Rogue One, and the original trilogy all fall under the Age of Rebellion banner. Yes, that's right.
So there's even more than that. then.
Yeah,
because
that's all in there as well.
There's an age in between
the
prequels and okay, cool. I thought ages didn't.
They'd have been better off just
a
sticking
longer
with
amount of
movie
time,
1, movie 2, and movie 3 at the moment. To be honest,
yeah, it's very confusing.
And then the new one is the sequels and Star Wars and the Resistance is now Rise of the First Order. So.
Oh, I thought it was going to be the Age of Shit, but that's
yeah,
that's just me.
JJ's fuck up.
It wasn't okay. That was just for dramatic purposes. It wasn't that bad. I mean, the last one was pretty bad, but yeah, I don't know. Like, it really. To be fair, like, I'll be real with you. Those films kind of like killed my love of Star Wars a little bit. I got rid of a bunch of merchandise after that because I was just like a bunch of like new related
just smashing shit up in your.
No, I literally gave away a bunch of Funko Pops. I gave BB-8 to my dad. I'm like, here, you can just have all this stuff. I don't care anymore. It's kind of like it ended on it like a wet fart. It's not.
Oh no.
It's not great. But Mandalorian kind of brought me back a little bit. I've not watched Clone Wars, but I started watching Bad Batch. Actually, should have mentioned that. I watched it today, and it's okay. It's fun. I'm enjoying it so far. But yeah. That's about as much as I can say. I feel like you really have to be invested in like the Clone Wars and Rebels and all of this again extra stuff with the Dave Filoni kind of Star Wars universe in order to get a lot of the references that are in there. But it's fun. It's definitely feels more like Star Wars. And I don't know. I kind of like need more. The Mandalorian was a nice refresh of everything.
I think you're right, and I think it bodes well, hopefully, for some of the future series as well, with like Obi-Wan Kenobi with Ewan McGregor coming back. That's filming at the moment. They're also filming one.
Oh, I am actually really hyped for that. Actually, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, because like I love really me some Ewan McGregor. You know, I want to see him on screen with that beard again. Oof. Oh, hoping he has the high ground.
Lock me off the knees, Daddy. And. What are they filming at the moment? Oh, they're filming something about Diego Luna's character from Rogue One.
Yeah.
So they're filming a series about him as well, even though he's dead now.
Which is weird because like that character is a jackass. Like he is not a nice character. So I'm guessing it's going to be very James Bond-esque.
Well, I think they're kind of there. I think they're kind of sort of seeing him perhaps as the new kind of Han Solo, like the sort of the new mercenary with a heart and all that sort of stuff. So that'd be interesting to see what they do with that. I'd heard there's a Yoda one knocking around. Nobody wants to see that. I don't need that.
Maybe. Who knows? I know there's going to be an Ahsoka one, which I'm actually pretty interested in seeing because that ties into more of that universe. So
yeah, I mean, she's brought in for like multiple. I think Roxanne Dawson. Roxanne Dawson. Thank you. Oh yeah, Roxanne was from Star Trek Voyager. So Roseanne was the one who was brought in. I think she's like signed multiple contracts for like bulk films and bulk TV shows and stuff. Like they're really kind of pulling off her character as kind of like the next big thing. So be fun to see how it all goes. I mean, look, I'm super stoked for it all, and I love the sort of the technology they're using, linking back to video games, because a lot of what they do in Mandalorian is shot in their thing called the Volume, which is a big 360 LED screen, and they use the Unreal Engine to move the camera and move the background relative to what the camera's doing, and it's completely free and exploring like a video, literally like a video game. So it keeps the parallax effect and everything. So you can.
It's a fantastic system. It's like literally just screens that are set up. And it's
and it gives the actor something to work with, but it also puts the right light onto the actors. The whole problem with the shitty prequels from Star Wars was because it was filmed entirely on green screen, that they just look plastic all the time because the light was wrong. Whereas now this it's actually, if there's a sun blazing, it's actual orangey, yellowy sort of light is coming at them. And that just makes the light on the character work so much better.
Were there any like major announcements on Star Wars Day that you were excited for? I think the only thing that really got me was literally actually I can share it. I have the video. Is the this lightsaber thing they've got for I don't know if it was Galaxy's Edge or what they're bringing it to, but yeah, Galactic Star Cruiser. They literally have you got your Rey over here with this lightsaber that's functioning and kind of like actually comes out, which is totally weird. Like, yeah, it's actually popping up from the hilt. It's not an effect, which is super cool.
That is really cool.
Mm-hmm. What I absolutely adore is that I think Disney shared that, and there's a load of fanboys that jumped in to say, "Oh, it's already been done, and it's been done so much better." And it's like, yes, because what they mean is a company actually created a real lightsaber that uses plasma energy, and it can actually genuinely cut things. Now, I'm not a brilliant health and safety expert, but people walking around Disneyland with weapons that can actually cause damage, I'm not sure that's on the insurance policy. So get a bit of perspective there, guys, and we'll come back and talk about that.
Try a Star Wars fight with two people with plasma blades in their hands.
You're going to get through so many actors.
I think Disney would lose a lot of money real quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. Want that. They do not want that at all.
Not at all.
No.
Any more on Star Wars?
I'm pretty much burnt out on Star Wars.
Well, let's stop talking about it then.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's not for this conversation, but in general, like I'm pretty burnt out on Star Wars stuff. Like Bad Batch is fun. I'll take the TV shows and things, but like in little doses.
I wish I could get into the animations. I have to admit, I really do wish I could get into the animations because they
do look nice. From what I've seen, they do look pretty nice.
I've always
they don't hit the same. I don't feel like they don't hit the same as like a live action series like The Mandalorian does though for me. Like
the problem is I'm far too late to everything these days, and the Clone Wars is like 6 seasons of 20 odd episodes. It is a huge
investment too. That's exactly
and they're all like 20
minutes
to go, and it's like I don't have the sort of the bandwidth to put that into my life. I think I tried like half the first season, like in the background while I was working, and I'm not getting it. And I fully appreciate the quality of it. I love the animation style. It's they're absolutely beautiful. And, but they're actually very cleverly kind of weave in a lot of narrative and stuff. And it's like, I need to focus on this if I'm going to watch it. And I don't want to get sucked into 300 hours of my life or something. So it's a pass.
I will say that is probably the fastest way to burn yourself out on a series. It's like watching like a long form series like that. I'll take it in little chunks, like I said, but Star Wars is it just feels way too corporate now. Like,
talking of corporate, and one of the things that that was announced on Star Wars Day, it was a lovely range of rainbow Funko Pops. To really help us embrace Pride by putting a rainbow on some plastic crap that you keep on a shelf.
Don't you just love it?
The epitome of the queer experience.
You know, I'm so over. Like, I think like soon after I first came out, I was like, "Oh, neat! Companies putting rainbows on things. That's fun." And now when I see them, just like I'll like be walking through like a store, and then I'll see like a shampoo bottle that's like rainbow, and they're like Pride, and I'm like, what does that do for us? What is this doing? So
we get police cars with rainbow with Pride symbols on them, which is fun, all things considered. Well, but I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, it's I don't know. Pops are fine. I don't see the range that they had on there. It was like what a Deadpool pop, a Lilo and Stitch pop. I can't remember what the other ones were.
I think there's a Darth Vader one. There was a couple of Star Wars ones. Hence the link.
I mean, they look fine. I guess but I don't know. I kind of
I don't get what you do with them. I don't get what you do with them. Like,
don't be fooled by the fact that I have Funko Pops down here.
You corporate sellout.
I actually think they're kind of trash. Like as far as like collectible figurines go, they're really ugly too. Which is why I only have like certain things like Baby Groot doesn't look, because it's in a plant pot. It doesn't look like a regular pop.
Okay. but that's okay.
And there's like a Dalek down there and stuff, and Pennywise the Clown from It. You can't find any Pennywise the Clown merchandise. That's my excuse. So there are some very they're cheap, they're accessible, but I don't know, they're garbage, and I can only imagine.
I just don't get it. Okay, collectibles, I get that. But I was on a call with someone the other day. I won't say who for obvious reasons because I'm about to trash them. But their entire sort of like background of the call was just like stacks of pops. And they're all like, how much money have you sunk into this? And they're literally just sitting there on a shelf. I was like,
yeah. I don't know. Like I've got nothing against collectibles because obviously, you know, I shouldn't be throwing stones because I live in this glass house, but
get good collectibles though.
Exactly, yeah. Get something that's like slightly nicer.
I'm one day I'll build a shelf behind me. I mean, I'll have to knock a wall down, but I'll have to build a shelf behind me, and I can display all my Lego and stuff because that actually was worth something because I put my time and energy into it.
And it's definitely not overpriced.
No,
at all.
You can knock it down and you can smash it all up and build it again. That's the beautiful thing about it. So you actually get multiple goes at it.
It is an activity.
The Funko Pop, the only thing you can do with it is you just take it and go, oh, I've just put it on a shelf. There we go. That's the end of that $8 or whatever it cost me.
You take it out of the box, put it on the shelf, it gets dusty, and then you have to.
Well, you take it out of the box, you can knock at least half the price off.
Does it really matter with Funko Pops? They're like a tenner.
In the good classic way of collectibles, you can't play with them because if you take them out of the box.
Oh God, I'm getting flashbacks to that Dexter's Lab episode. Oh God, what was it like? Brand new in BNF, brand new sealed in box or whatever. It's a whole thing, but there's a fantastic episode of Dexter's Lab.
Way off topic. In the UK, there's a guy called James May who part of Top Gear actually. It's US viewers, old Top Gear. He
it's
did
the Grand Tour now, isn't it, on Amazon?
Don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. He did a fantastic series called James May's Toy Stories. Anyway, and one of them was his whole thing. He had a huge thing about collectible model trains, and his whole thing about toys is that they should be played with, and that's the reason they're designed. That's what you should do. But he really doesn't understand why people sort of keep things in boxes and just lock them away and stop people from playing with them. So he went to an auction of very expensive train sets, bought a very, very collectible coach in a box, and then in front of the people that are in that room, he paid like 3 figures, like hundreds, and in front of people in that room just took it out of the box, threw the box away, and just walked out the room and put it on his tray. And the faces of everybody in that room were absolutely shocked. But that's the whole point. Toys are for playing with, and you can't play. This is a long way around to this bashing pop again. You can't play with a Funko Pop. What's the point of it?
Well, unless you play the ancillary Funko Pop media like the Gears of War Pop games, and
yes, just to thrash that thing a little bit further.
Which Gears of War. That's an Xbox franchise, is it?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes.
Anything else
Good
happening
link.
with Xbox?
Yes, these links are getting much better. Xbox Cloud came out on beta for Android, for mobiles as a whole, in browser. That's the whole thing. And it's basically the way that you can play Xbox Cloud on Apple devices because of the ongoing drama with Apple and Xbox and whatever else. And it's actually inherently designed. It's really, really clever. You go to a website, you click the button to basically put the website onto your home screen, which creates its own icon. You press that, it opens a browser. It doesn't look like a browser, and it looks like a standard Xbox Cloud playing. And that's where the cleverness ends, because when I played it, a very simple game, and it lagged like hell, and my internet is notoriously a bit patchy.
That's the problem with like all of these services, like Stadia and Xbox Cloud, and I think there's a few others. It's like it's never gonna work unless the infrastructure is there to handle it. Like
it's like we talked about it a lot, but I think you're right. It's I remember I had a podcast about this last year or something, but when Stadia was kind of a bigger thing and they didn't really shut everything down and get bored, There was a whole thing around, you can go to google.com, Stadia, whatever, and you type in your postcode or your zip address or whatever, and it tells you your internet speed, and it sort of says like to even get basic level of playing Stadia, you've got to have 30 gigabytes down and like 10 up or something. And it's like,
you tell that to the person living in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. No, can't.
It's a bit half
living on an actual farm.
Phoenix, Arizona is perfectly fine.
Oh yeah, we're great. We're like a giant metropolis. We got it.
But no, it's like the infrastructure and stuff. You're right, it's not there. I mean, I'm looking forward to getting out into the city centre with my 5G. Now I've got my 2 vaccinations. I can get out and play on the 5G and see how that goes. Maybe.
It's honestly crazy sometimes that like 4G and 5G is better than the level of internet that you'll get by being at home via Wi-Fi, depending on the area you're in. And I know in America it's terrible because they've carved it up between certain ISPs, right, for your internet access. Yeah.
And like there are new ones that keep coming up. Like literally, like my phone provider like does 5G internet now. So I'm kind of like, oh my, like new ISPs just keep popping up.
I think that's going to be the way forward. The problem with 5G, I believe, at the moment is that it really struggles to. There's this whole thing about 5G. You suddenly won't need to have your own home internet. Brackets. 5G doesn't work very well indoors. It's like, well, then let's not worry about our internet then. Apparently 5G signals get confused by walls.
That, and apparently it caused COVID, according to all of those wonderful people.
No.
Now we've all got our 2 vaccinations. We should have perfect 5G reception, courtesy of the chips that are inside us.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Going through our bloodstream.
I'm just gonna like wonderful. T-pose, like like character models, and then I'll just emit 5G. That's how I do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, I saw this wonderful meme. I know this is a little bit weird, but I saw this wonderful meme. It wasn't even a meme. It was literally somebody's front door. It's, if you've been vaccinated, please, you cannot come into our house because of your vaccination sheddings. And it's like, okay, all right. That there's something about vaccination sheddings now that you believe is a thing. Interesting. Yeah.
Alex Jones was shouting on one of his podcasts the other day about the vaccinations putting plaque, the shit you get on teeth, the plaque in your brain. It's like, no, Alex, it's just a stroke. Have another one. Do us all a favor.
What are people thinking when they're coming up with these? Are they just like, you know what?
Know.
I feel like they wake up and they're just like, you know what? I need to figure out how to get attention today. Let's just say that, like, you know.
Oh, I wish
5G,
it was that. I wish it was that.
Plaque in the brain. Got it. Like, it's just.
I think they just have like these big wheels of fortune, and they just go, and it just comes up with like topic of the day that I'm going to rant on the internet about, and it's just.
For a show though.
Yeah. The truth is far scarier though. Is that it's just ignorant people listening to things and then mishearing information, and
it's the gossip
turning
network.
that into something. Yeah, it's the gossip network. It's Chinese whispers. That's not necessarily whatever. What do people call that now?
It's a big old game of telephone.
Let's just say
telephone. Thank you, telephone. Thank you. Sorry, that's a very old British way of referring to that. Apologies. School days coming back.
How do we move forward? No, it's the groups on WhatsApp and Telegram and the like, and it's just the sort of the gossip mongering and so and so said this and so and so said that, because nobody can offer, when you get all these interviews, no one can offer actual facts. They just say, well, I heard, and the second someone says I heard that, you can just discount the rest of the sentence that they're about to come out of their mouth, because I heard is not basis for scientific fact. I heard is the start of sort of like, I just bitching, and like anyway. But
speaking of shitty people, as we're off topic, Pokemon trading cards. Let's talk about shitty things that are happening in the world. Have you heard? Have you heard about the current situation with Pokemon trading cards and the scalping that's going on for trading cards from cereal boxes?
For a children's card game?
For a children's card game, because obviously, the content creators, we've ruined everything. We've ruined Pokemon cards now too, because that's now a big thing thanks to certain YouTubers who now do unboxings. Funnily enough, I used to unbox Pokemon cards like 10 years ago on my YouTube channel. It's really hard to do that now because the prices are insane for everything. Like the prices just like go through the roof for like just buying a box of something to open on camera. Insanely priced. But it's gone to the point, I think, where it's there is even more insanity. I think it was General Mills as a cereal creator has like a collaboration going on with the Pokemon trading card company, and they were putting like exclusive trading cards in their cereal boxes. And of course, you know, people being the way that they are in the US, no offense, are literally just ripping open those boxes on the store shelves. There's images of the boxes being torn open just to get out these cards, and like people with money just buying like massive crates and shipments of cereal boxes, not even to eat the cereal, just to take the Pokemon cards out, and then they just throw the cereal away.
Okay, wasting food too. Great.
Yeah,
love to hear that.
Yeah,
it's I don't know. It's just like 2020 never ended. Really. First it was toilet paper. Now it's it's trading cards. Yeah, I don't know. Scalping seems to be getting to like a really bad point now with the whole GPU crisis as well. I don't know if everybody's aware of this.
I hear just people talk about it, and like that's like it's kind of one of the reasons I like hesitate to like make any upgrades right now, just because like I know I'm gonna look and be like, oh, that's no thank you.
I built a new PC last year and I tried my hardest to get one of the new graphics cards, and it was impossible. I was there on launch day, that when they went live, refreshing like 5 different sites. And of course, they're all being attacked by bots at the same time who just buy up all the stock and then just leave nothing in their wake. Then the sellers just ship them out to the people who then resell them at a crazy markup, and nobody seems to be doing anything about it, which is the problem. I know that there are certain retailers who are like putting systems in place which essentially like take a ticket and you'll get pinged when there's something available, but it's earmarked for you for like 24 hours and then you have to pick that up, which is really cool. But most other places don't do stuff like that. And I feel like this kind of stuff should become the norm so that one particular bot can't buy up all of the stock.
I mean, we've just lived through it with the PS5 crisis. I mean, we're living.
The same thing.
PS5.
Yeah, with consoles,
it's still not available.
No,
but the thing is, although I agree with the sort of the sentiment and the concept of having that like 24-hour ping window to go and buy your product, that's actually it's actually a really good idea. The problem is that the markets would look at that and or Xbox or PlayStation or whoever, the suppliers would look at that and go, hold on a second, that company's only selling 50 consoles. This company sold 1,000 today. And it's like, yes, because a bot hit and bought all 1,000. So it's like, they're going to look at it and go, well, that company's only selling 50 of those consoles, but they're selling those consoles really well to real people at the real price that you want to pay for, not being ripped off and then putting them online for like, oh, we can buy a PS5 for $2,000 or whatever. And it's just,
and that's kind of the issue with these stores as well, is that the stores are selling stuff regardless. So why should they care who they're going to? Yeah. Why should they care that the end user is getting screwed over if they're just, making the same money that they would have made anyway?
They're making theirs, so
exactly, they're getting their bag. Yeah. So, I mean, the worst that I've seen is literally, I know this was like a massive thing with the shoe market, like people buying like exclusive shoes and then like reselling them for crazy prices. That's been kind of where this comes from, I guess. Like the whole idea of like these bots being put in place that are to buy like expensive shoes in order to like hoard them and then resell them. It just, a certain thing didn't sit well with me and a lot of other people. There's these special like Nike shoes, which are supposed to be for people to put on their shoes without having to touch the shoe at all. It's a special shoe that you can like just put on using your foot alone. And obviously you think, that's perfect for like somebody with a disability that has limited mobility, that can't necessarily like bend down to like put a shoe on. You can literally just pop it out with your foot, push your foot down into it, and it's on. They all went, and again, botted, being sold for like 2 to 3 to 4 times the price on reselling sites. And there are people out here like defending that too, saying, don't go after the resellers. They're just, trying to make some money to like feed their families and stuff. It's like,
we'll come up with our own shoe design then and sell it.
Yeah,
don't sort of steal it. It's the same as people that go to like concert websites and like the artists or whatever, the drag stars, the singers, whoever have decided that they want their fans to see them at $50 a ticket or $40 a ticket. And before you know it, like a bot or eBay is just full of people selling tickets to the next whatever at $300 a ticket. And it's like, that's not what the artist wanted. You're freezing out all of the people that wanted that. I can't remember who it was. Part of me thinks it was Robin Williams, bless him. I think it was. So Robin Williams did a few concerts later in his years, and was getting fed up with the fact that he didn't have real people on the front row for him to interact with. It was just rich people that had paid a lot for those tickets and then just sat there looking grumpy. And so the last few concerts he did, he kept the first 2 rows empty, and at his request. And then like 10 minutes before the show started, the ushers went up to the back rows and brought 2 rows of people down to the front row and so they could put the cheap seats onto the 2 front rows.
That's so cute. Of course, Robin Williams did that.
That's amazing.
Exactly. And I just think that was like, the artist shouldn't have to be doing that.
No.
As a way of trying to get his real fans, the people who genuinely want to see him, but could only afford the cheap seats, courtesy of the overpricing and whatever else. And I think that's, I think there's a lot to answer for with this whole scalping thing. Of course, I don't know what the answer is. And I think the problem is that you're absolutely right, Mia, is that the middleman, the seller, is doing their job. They're taking the units, they're selling them. It's not up to them to police where that's going. And I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. Whether you have to some sort of application system, some sort of limited system, some sort of whatever. But I think the good thing is that I don't think we're going to live through that for too much longer. I think that the pandemic hasn't helped in terms of demand. And I think hopefully we're sort of starting to see the back of that. I think the next go around, of course, will be for the Switch Pro, the rumored Switch Pro, I should say. If as and when that happens, with a big sort of HD screen and 4K upscale in the dock and that sort of thing. It's been threatened to be coming out for the last couple of years, and they reckon on the rumory underground that it's this Christmas.
Hopefully.
I'm ready.
All right, let me give you a little bit of a uplifting news as the final little thing that we'll cover real quick. Apex has just got some new updates. Apex Legends, they've got their new 3v3 mode, a new season, but they've also introduced a brand new character who is called Valkyrie. Wonderful character. They are an LGBTQ plus character, as they are a lesbian, which is wonderful. I've actually got the
hold on. I can print. There you go.
I've got the gameplay popping up right there. Hell yeah.
Oh, I love her.
They're actually the daughter of one of the characters, one of the minor antagonists from Titanfall 2. So they actually use some tech from like the Titanfall games as part of their whole getting around a jetpack style gameplay, which is super, super cool. So yeah, Apex Legends continuing their really dope representation. The best battle royale game.
Yes, absolutely.
We will. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. It's actually kind of really big in Japan now. Apex Legends. I think like it's super big in the VTuber scene, which is given it a lot of cred too. But that the LGBT representation, I'm actually thinking maybe I'll jump back into it again. If only I was good at first-person shooters or anything. So, yeah.
I know I would struggle at this game.
I think I talked about this, didn't I, Mia, on a few podcasts ago, as one of the games that I was playing, because I got it on Game Pass, and I don't normally go in for this sort of thing, But I went into I popped into the game, and I did all the sort of training and whatever else, and it's like, right, I'm ready. I played Borderlands. What could possibly go wrong? And I literally just landed in this zone. I had no idea where I was going. I had no idea what the target was. And then within about 2 minutes, I'm running around. Within 2 minutes, someone pops up and just caps me in the head. And it's like, well, that's the end of my first game of Apex. I think I lasted about 30 seconds, and I was just having to sit there and watch everybody else play. And I was like, no, this is not for me.
I'm actually really surprised. I'm actually really surprised that it's managed to last the test of time at this point, because like so many other battle royale games have come and gone, especially when you're thinking about like Fortnite being the big battle royale game. I mean, I don't even see player and PUBG being played that much anymore. Yeah, but like the two big ones, Fortnite, Fortnite, and as far as I can tell, Apex is still pretty big with people. Not as big as Fortnite, but like in Japan, that's, you know, they don't even talk about Fortnite. Apparently, it's all Apex.
So. League's still knocking around, but I think League's very much into just really in the esports world now as well.
Well, League of Legends, so that's more MOBA than battle royale. But yeah,
what do I know?
Yeah. We've kind of like, I wonder what the next big thing will be, because, you know, it was MOBA for like a huge period of time. Before that, it was like MMORPG, and now it's been Battle Royale for a period. I wonder what the next big thing will be. That'll be interesting to figure out.
Have you seen the new Hood game that came out? That's an online, and the new Robin Hood game. I was so interested. I saw the trailers for that and everything. I was so excited for it. But then it was revealed to be a 4-on-1 online sort of thing, similar to not Dead by Daylight, but Dead by Daylight sort of mechanic. And I was like, lost interest now. No interest. Shame. There hasn't been a good Robin Hood game for a while.
But anyway, we don't have to focus on games that may or may not be coming out that are good or bad, because we have a wonderful guest to interview in the form of Jeff Brutlag.
Hi.
I said it really strong then. Did you notice I said it really strong then?
You attacked it. That's what I wanted to hear.
That's what I wanted to do. Yeah, it is time for your spotlights, where we get to know you a bit more. We get to ask you all the cool questions, and you get to be center stage and glamour like the majestic person that you are.
Oh my gosh, I love that. As a Leo, I love that. And as someone with some mild generalized anxiety, I'm also like, but I mostly love it.
Don't worry. I will go easy. I'm gonna start you with an easy question. It's like, how would you describe your content, and what do you feel like attracts people to that content?
So I would describe especially like my Twitch channel as, you're sitting in like a queer coffee shop where you got some like fun, like cozy, maybe like more story-driven games going on. You know, every once in a while we'll get some spooky things. But really, it is a nice little queer haven of the internet where we get just as serious as we get silly. And it's just a nice place to either escape or kind of talk about things that maybe are on our mind that we need to talk about. But it is a place to enjoy each other.
I saw some of the clips that you've been putting out recently on Twitter, especially the Resident Evil Village clip.
Oh my God.
Running away from big old mommy.
Big Dommy mommy. Listen, that was a good scene, and I'm just thoroughly impressed by, like, she lives up to the hype that she had, is basically how I've been feeling about her.
You can really feel that energy coming through there, really. And I feel like you bring that energy so much, and it's always so fun to just like to watch those interactions.
Oh, thank you.
You said you play a lot of story-based stuff. So what games, apart from obviously Resident Evil, which is sort of this week, but are there sort of specific types of games that you've enjoyed playing recently, or what games have been on the stream?
So I historically, like ever since like the beginning of my gaming days, I've loved RPGs, JRPGs, just like some medieval RPGs. Like recently on stream, I've been working through the Dragon Age series. So I just finished Origins, and I love being able to embody a character and being able to just pretend that I am in that world. So something like that, and like highly just customizable characters, things like that, with a really fun story, for sure.
Do you, does your audience sort of play along with you in the game? Is that kind of like a discussion point of the game? Is like talking about the options you're going to take, or are you very much playing the lead on that? Or because I know some people sort of, it's more of a collaborative thing.
When it comes to the bigger, it depends on the game. If it's like one of those big games that I just kind of haven't gotten a chance to get the hype on yet, like with the Dragon Age series, like that has such a cult following that pretty much everyone that like would come to those streams who would be chatting would be people who've already played it. So I think for me, it's like when I'm playing those games, it's nice to kind of talk through my decisions, and like most of my community knows that like I'm someone who likes to try to experience the game firsthand without anyone telling me like any tips or anything, that should be coming up or anything to expect. So they'll very much like discuss potential decisions I'm making as if, they only know what I've learned up until then. So it's nice to kind of have that collaborative effort. And then even people who haven't played the games before kind of like will react to what's going on, being like, oh, I don't like the way the character said that. Or like, oh, they've been really nice to you. Maybe you should, be nice back. So it's a fun, it can be very collaborative, but sometimes it really just does become me just like fumbling around with my decisions and them just sitting back like, I know what's going to happen.
I know, again, you have a very, very good energy that you bring to your streams. I know you're quite out and proud about, your gayness and loveliness and wonderfulness. Has that always been the case? And this is kind of like a dual barrel question. If there was somebody else who was kind of in a newer position to streaming, who was again a queer person, LGBT, who was kind of apprehensive about streaming, what would you say to them?
So when I started, before I even started streaming, like when it was something that I was thinking about, I had a friend who had been using Twitch basically since it started, and she told me like, you are going to get a lot of questions about like whether or not you're gay, just because of who I am and like how I already carry myself without mentioning me being gay. Like she was already like, you're probably going to get some questions about that, and I was already prepared. So I think for me, it was just something I was already ready for. So I just figured, what's the point in really trying to do much to conceal or like introduce my audience to that later? I just kind of went for it. And I think for somebody who might be a little nervous about it, I think the unfortunate thing is you're going to get it. Like you're going to get some anti-LGBTQIA troll. It's going to happen because, they just exist and they're just going to be who they are. But ultimately, like, I think the thing I try to remind myself of now, looking back at it, is that there's nothing they can say to me that I haven't already told myself or worse. Like they're just words on a screen. And I think, I do try to treat them, with importance, because there are people in my community who might not be out in whatever their identity is. And I think it's important to protect them. But for me, as like a community leader, like you really can't say anything about me being gay that like is going to offend me. Truly.
I mean, I don't know if you feel this, but it kind of gets to the point where it's like water off a duck's back.
Truly. Like it's just no stains, no water stains, no nothing. It literally slides off, and I'm like, anyway, next. Like, I literally like I don't even spare the energy on it unless I'm going to turn it into content, and then I'm like, then I'll spare the energy on it.
Take him down at that point. Totally.
As someone with a surname of Gray, one letter off gay, I've had every variation of that since I was about 5.
Oh my gosh.
Even at a time where I didn't know I was gay. And so for me, it's like you've really got to find some way of getting through to me that would be highly unique, because I think I've probably been there, done that, heard that, and it's not original anymore. It's nothing.
No.
It's not anything that's particularly exciting. So it's
they like honestly, like a lot of the trolls that you get, like while streaming or really anywhere on the internet when it comes to being gay, it's so low effort. So like the apple's already touching the ground and like it's already fallen. So like they really just as long as you think about that these people are trying to do like the literal bare minimum in invalidating your existence, like shows.
And there'll be a typo as well, because they'll always fuck into a typo.
Oh yeah,
like they can never do hate with spelt properly or with good grammar. Like at least if you're gonna come for me, I'm a writer, get your grammar right.
Oh my God,
and get your spelling right.
Oh no, I'd be like, I'm not offended that you just like insulted me for being gay. I'm insulted that you came in here with bad grammar. Yikes.
Yeah, exactly.
Ew, exactly. I had to read that.
Talking of writing, off stream, you're also a writer.
Yes.
What got you into that, and like when did you start out with that?
Oh my gosh. We had to dig deep into the archives. So I don't know if for those out there, there's a site that probably is still going, called Gaia Online. Oh yes,
I was like, I was on Gaia a lot.
Oh my God, it was such a blast. For those who don't know what it is, think like MySpace, but like instead you get to have like a little like anime-esque avatar that you get to use around. It's great. And I remember I used that a long time just because of the kind of anime aesthetic of it when I was in high school. But then I got into roleplay forums on there. And from there, I was really enjoying creating characters and interacting with other people in the forums. And there would be some times where I would have a couple characters interacting with each other. And I also really enjoyed creating those scenes. So then it just, from there, I was like, what if I just created entirely my own story? That's a Gaia plushie?
That is a Gaia plushie. Yeah, just a...
Oh, that's adorable.
Very old. Sorry, not to interrupt you.
You're fine. No, I forgot that they even like did merch, so that was just super cool to see.
Sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
You're fine. You're fine. I needed to see that.
Your Gaia writing days.
So I think that's what got me into it, because like I even like made my own roleplay forum that like I did with friends, and like they would get busy kind of, doing their own thing, that like I ended up just like writing character scenes between me and myself. And I was like, what if I just made my own story like this just for myself? So then I started writing, my own stories. And then from there, I realized I really enjoyed writing, went on to get a degree in English with some focuses in like literature and creative writing, because that wasn't like super like, that takes a lot of work to turn that into a career. I went into like digital marketing so that I can like at least do content writing for social media. And ever since I got into writing, I still have such like, even though like with streaming and trying to balance how busy that can be with trying to keep up with writing, like the desire to create worlds and characters like has always been there, and just to tell stories through them.
So I'm assuming that a lot of the stuff that you write about is all fictional. What is it, like fantasy stuff? Like what is your focus?
So with that, a lot of my actual like my experience when it came to creative writing classes in school actually kind of focused more on like realistic fiction. So very more like I kind of like to do a lot of like heavy character driven things, mostly about like just like the queer experience. And ever since then, I definitely have had, more ideas for sort of more like urban fantasy sort of things, magic in the real world. Like I did have like an idea for just like a whole cast of like magical queer people that just still kind of there, probably will work on at some point, but I haven't really fleshed it out as much as I would like to. So that definitely is something like that. I really also, because of how much horror I've started consuming as of late, would love to write something spooky. Like I want to take like just like horror tropes that have just been out there and just to completely flip them on their head with just like a whole cast of like queer characters, and like having like, having the final girl just be like maybe a final queer person in some realm, and like, contribute to that in a way that I feel like horror doesn't often do.
Like really play with those tropes and stereotypes and things. Yeah,
absolutely. But yeah, I also love writing things like I took a lot of classes related to like creative nonfiction, as well as like kind of cultural critique. So oftentimes I really like to look at like the rhetoric behind certain stories. And like I actually wrote a really big piece about The Last of Us 2, and its queer representation. So I really kind of picked apart why I thought it could have done way better. And I really enjoy breaking things down like that too.
Critical analysis. Do you think would that be ever something like, I actually didn't look into like the YouTube side of things. Do you do like YouTube or anything like that?
I had done it a while ago. That's actually how I ended up going to Twitch, just because like what I was talking about with YouTube, like when I was on YouTube, I just wasn't having like the engagement that I was hoping for. So I just kind of was losing steam on it. It felt more like I was getting videos out and then like relieved that I finally was done editing them, more so than like, wow, look at this thing I'm proud of now. So I stopped. But you know, now that I've curated more of an audience on Twitch, it could be a fun thing to try to get back into. Never really considered it that much, but yeah.
Well, like with your like critical analysis of things, it might be a nice thing to focus together. I always find that the issue there though is that's not necessarily the content that people want to see straight away, especially when you're growing too. Like it's not that great for the algorithm, but which is kind of a shame, but it is what it is, I guess.
Right.
GC, you mentioned obviously balancing writing and streaming. Is your focus on writing to be kind of like your main career in the end, or are you just sort of seeing where everything leads at the moment?
Excuse me. Yeah, I do think long term, you know, looking at doing, you know, something more writing focused, I can see I can see being more, having more longevity. Because like, while I love streaming, and I see myself doing streaming until I can't anymore. But I know that sometimes like content creation can have a very short-lived period of time, depending on who you are and depending on what kind of content you make, and just depending on so many factors that we can't always keep in check. I know that I would love to do something that when it comes to writing, like then like the thing is, it's for me, it's so hard to like, I just love expressing myself through words. Like I love being able to just write things, and I love just being able to tell stories and share opinions. That to me, like, it's so hard to like narrow down like what exactly is I want to do with writing. But I know the one thing that has appealed to me has definitely like been kind of doing narrative work for video games, just because it is the medium I've had so much experience in, to where being able to use my skills to tell a story through video games would be so fun.
Very, very cool. I love that. I really hope to that I get to see like the stories that you craft in video games one day. That would be very, very cool to see. That'd be amazing. Speaking of future plans, of course, we're in the middle of a pandemic. It's, you know, it's a whole thing. Do you have any particular like plans like for this stream, either online or offline, that can take place when the pandemic's all calmed down, where you can get out and see people again? I'm always like, I got to go back to TwitchCon, you know, but like, what would you want to do?
Oh my gosh. Part of me like always wants to hope that I can do like fun IRL streams where I take you to fun places. I think that'd be fun, but I'm always so anxious about like pulling out a camera in public, where I'm just like, people are going to be weird about this. But as far as
same
like,
over here, I'm British. Like it's impossible, you know. It's like it's just my Britishness won't let me do that. But
fair. But I've been getting into my kitchen a little more when it comes to streaming. So sharing more of that I think could be really fun. But no, and I mean I have so many different things. I'm one of those people where like I come up with an idea and then I'm like immediately like, I don't know how that's going to work. So then it like ends up going really back into like the back burner of my brain, to where like I have to like do some work to pull it out. But there are some ideas that I feel like would be fun to test out. Like I would love doing like a talk show sort of thing like this, focusing on different topics, because I just enjoy like also being able to use my platform to lift up other creators on the space. And I think like something like this I can bring in so much, because sometimes on Twitch, like not everyone's going to enjoy like a certain game that you want to play with other streamers, so they might not want to show up to that to like see who this other streamer is. But literally just getting to sit down and talking to another creator, like that can appeal to a lot of people. So something like that in the future could be really fun.
Like
absolutely,
wonderful.
Absolutely. I mean, there are other examples. I mean, I know that Biggest Bennis and Ed Knight have Nightingale, sorry, have recently started a podcast. I'm not sure if I should probably check and see if how it's going. But I think content creators breaking that initial programming of kind of like, I must play a video game. I think sort of having the conversations, learning more about each other, sharing other skills. I mean, I sort of think to forgive me, I'm not going to get this right. I think it's Bad Andy Writes is another streamer from the Rainbow Arcade who's a writer. Yes. My understanding is I think he has writing sessions on stream. Like he sits and talks through his writing and talks through sort of character ideas and is writing on stream. I find that fascinating.
Yeah, I think that's definitely not something that ends up being shared on Twitch a lot. So I think having other ways to kind of engage an audience on your creative process and really getting to see yourself, like getting to see creators in a different light, because I think you can only have so many different reactions to video games. And while like when new games come out, it's fun to see how creators feel about it on Twitch. But I think that's like part of the reason why like when like audiences love when you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be doing a cooking stream soon. Like you're going to see so many people being like, oh, cooking stream, because it's different. And it's something that they can like kind of vibe with, because everyone eats food. Like, so it's just fun to see it in a different environment.
You all eat food? Oh, I've been doing things wrong.
Oh, Mia. I didn't.
That's what you've been doing wrong.
I was about to say, this is something new I'm learning about you.
No, I too eat food. I am a normal human that does things like
you said that
too.
Very convincingly. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
eating food. We all do it.
We all do it.
Does that explain your gammy eye?
No comment. Moving on anyway. We're going to finish off with some wonderful quick fire questions. Jeff, again, this is meant to be a little bit of fun. You don't have to really concentrate all that much. It's literally just stream of consciousness first thing that comes to mind. So example, if I ask you which is the best Sailor Scout, you would say?
Pluto.
Pluto. There you go. So we're going to start this off. We're going to kick this off with what's been your favorite game this year so far?
Oh, definitely. Oh no. What was I been playing? What have I even been playing? Now I feel like I don't remember any video game that I've been playing ever in my whole life.
What made an impact on you?
I'm trying to think.
Big Mommy Milker Simulator?
You know what? It's gonna have to be Resident Evil. So far right now, I'm fascinated by every single part of it.
Hell yeah.
What was the most memorable game from your childhood?
Definitely. It had to have been a Final Fantasy game of some sort. Probably either 9 or 8, because those were like among my first two.
Hell yeah. Who's your favorite video game character? We're digging deep here.
Bayonetta, 100%.
Oh, yes.
100%.
Love it.
Like campy, ridiculous, like sassy, like she's got it all.
I'm seeing a theme like vampy women. It's I'm digging into your psyche. What game do you most want a sequel to?
Oh God, Night in the Woods.
Nice.
Ooh,
yes, good choice.
Nice little indie one. Yeah.
Who would be your dream stream guest, Cheshire?
Oh, but when you said it like that, I mean Bayonetta. But I think it'd be really cool to have. My first thought was Beyonce.
Nice.
Ooh, very nice.
What game are you most looking forward to coming out?
Oddly enough, I'm really excited for that like Evil Dead like multiplayer one that they like teased. It's just that there's something about it that's just to me like it looks like the kind of gameplay I'm not sure I'm like gonna love, but like just the fact that it's gonna seem a little ridiculous is something that I can get behind. So I'm into that.
Okay, so if you were marooned on an island, which 3 games would you want to have with you? These are like magical games. You can play them no matter if they're online, offline, whatever you want.
Okay,
it's a really good island.
Final Fantasy 14, because I for some reason can't seem to find the time to catch up on the main story. So I'd have plenty of time. I would also take probably a Pokemon game of some sort. I'm not sure which one, but one of them, because then I can just keep replaying it and challenging myself deeper. And probably Animal Crossing, because it's nice and cozy, and it would be something to like look forward to every day, being like, oh, let's see what's in the Mabel sisters.
That would be cozy.
Yeah.
Which game has the best soundtrack?
Persona 4.
Ooh, good choice. Good choice.
Love those 90s beats.
Hell yeah. I especially love the opening to Persona 4 Golden. So good.
So cute.
And of course, the final question, feel free to take your time on this one. Where can people find your content and what have you got coming up on the channel?
Well, you can find me at Jeff Brutlag everywhere. So Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. I've also been posting pretty regularly on TikTok. So want to follow me there. I've been having a lot of fun with that. I also have a website, jeffbrutlag.com. I've been meaning to be a little more active with my home blog page on there. So keep a lookout for some more updates there. What else do I do? Oh my gosh. So much. We are in the season of a St. Jude Play Live. I don't have a set date on when I'm going to be streaming for them yet, but I do plan on doing a charity stream for St. Jude. I know I'll be having some. I know I'm going to be putting myself in drag for the first time ever next month. Ooh. I think I've decided. That was an incentive for a recent stream that I did, and I've been in drag, but I've never actually put myself in drag. So we're going to be doing that during Pride Month, and I'm excited. But yeah, those are like my big things that are coming up.
Very cool. And I'm assuming just more Resident Evil 8s on the channel in the meantime, or?
Yes. And then with Mass Effect actually coming out, the remaster this Friday, I've played the first one and the second one, and it's been so recent that I'm like, I don't think I can play them again before the new one comes out. So when it does come out, I'll be starting a playthrough of the third one.
Hell yeah.
I'm very excited.
Very good choice. Very good choice.
Awesome. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
It's been a fantastic time.
Yeah.
Love seeing you as usual.
I love seeing you both.
Human. Yeah, that brings us to the end of the Gayming Podcast Live. Thank you so much for joining us here. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time with special guest Glenn Angel.
Ooh, love Glenn.
And of course, in the meantime, do not forget to keep reading Gayming Magazine. You can also head over to the Discord at gaymingmagazine.com/Discord. Get involved in the conversation between all these things. Other than that, we'll see you again in 2 weeks for the next show. But yeah, I guess see you all soon. Have a good one. Stay safe out there. And bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.